Sorry, introducing Peter Starr, proxy holder and shareholder, Mr Chair.
Go ahead, Peter.
Good morning, Warwick, and good morning, Patrick. And first of all, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and to you, the shareholders. It's really important that you're here, and I'd like to ask, if you have questions and you're not sure how to ask the question, I'm happy to ask on your behalf, or by all means, please come and ask the questions. It's really important. It's your opportunity, folks. For those who don't know me, my name's Peter Starr. And Warwick, I've got more than 2 cards. I've got proxy holder cards, my own personal listing and my corporate listing, but that's fine. First question is, I want to know, did we participate in the government bonds like Commonwealth Bank, ANZ, NAB? That's the first question. Did we have a share of that pie where the bonds that the government were doing? You're aware of what I'm...
You mean, did we participate in the issuance of bonds by RBA?
Yes, correct.
No, we don't have a capital markets business.
So
okay.
Peter, we buy government bonds, but we do not issue government bonds.
Yep. Okay. Secondly, following up from that, do we have within our bank a dealer's room or a settlement room?
Yes, we do. So in Brisbane, we have a separate room where our financial markets team sit, and we have one in Sydney as well.
Right. So to follow up from that, could I at least get some clarification that we haven't got the issues that we've seen out of the debacle from ANZ and what the hell was going on in the dealer's room, sex, drugs and rock and roll? I want some clarification that within BOQ, in our settlement or dealers' rooms, that everything is A-OK and everything is fine and above board. That's the first question.
I can confirm that that's not a type of business that we conduct, so no, it would not have happened at BOQ.
Well, I'm very grateful to hear that, Warwick, on behalf of the shareholders that I represent.
No sex and drugs and rock and roll at BOQ.
I'm very happy to hear it.
Maybe rock and roll.
Point taken. Coming back to this decision now that the board has taken, for 22 years, the franchise model has served BOQ and they've always had the corporate alongside it. And for the benefit of ladies and gentlemen in the room, I've brought a number of my clients to BOQ, and Mr. Alloway is aware of that. So obviously I'm fielding a lot of questions and heat about exactly what's going on. And one of the main things here is that if you've had a model that served the bank well and created profit and dividends that the mum and dad shareholders behind me have had, all of a sudden we've decided to change that. And like it's caused a lot of upheaval because I've fielded direct questions without naming names, as Mr. Alloway would say to me. But if we could just have a little bit more clarification about this, because you're saying some of the banks you've settled. I can understand if we're going to merge at banks where we've got 2 in the same town. I understand all that and have one. My concern here is that what about in parts of like Western Australia, or what about parts in South Australia? Obviously in Queensland we're very strong and that's fine and good. I have no issue with any of that. But what the franchise model brought good profit and that was able to pay good dividends to the shareholders. And I'm not going to talk about the share price right now, but I am later. So the rationale behind this and how the people within the branches, I think was raised by Paul, is of a concern to me as well, I can assure you, because I've fielded a lot of questions and a lot of personal stories and I'm sure Mr. Allaway can testify, I wear my heart on my sleeve and I'm not afraid to ask the questions. So if we could just get a little bit more clarification about this, because the concern I have is where we have a presence in Western Australia, so suddenly we'll have no presence in Western Australia. Or if we have a presence, the presence in South Australia, we won't have a presence anymore. And that concerns me. So if we could have some feedback on that, I'd really appreciate that.
Okay. Let me answer part of it, and Patrick can offer some additional detail. We have had customer inquiry as to how they will be affected upon the conversion to corporate ownership of the branches. And so for a very large number, the branches will continue to exist, and in fact with owner-managed branch staff coming to work for BOQ, there'll be the same faces doing the same things in most of those branches. So for the customers, and particularly the customers who do go into those particular branches, they will not see a difference. And so we've been able to give our customers a reassurance. For a large number of customers, migrating to a digital capability is really where they're telling us they want to be, and the visitation to branches has decreased dramatically in the last decade, and we've experienced that as well. And so giving our customers better functionality, better online functionality, able to solve problems such as changing PIN numbers, opening accounts, closing accounts online, they're telling us that that's what they really want. With the launch of a digital mortgage, they're able to either use a broker or do direct, do online to apply for a mortgage. And these are the things that, to remain competitive in a marketplace with big banks, these are the things that our customers are telling us that they want from us. Maybe I'll pass to Patrick.
Thanks, Warwick. Peter, thank you for your question. And also thank you for the referral business that you've referred to BOQ through our network. So I do know that you know a number of our owner managers, and we do appreciate the support that you've given to BOQ through that referral business. Look, I just wanted to make a couple of comments. First of all, this is a really big change for our owner manager network, and I think we want to acknowledge that. And it's a model that has served us very well, as Warwick said, for 22 years. I think as we look at the future state of banking and where we are, and what's most important, that we can ensure that we've got a sustainable bank to continue to service our customers, to employ our people, and to provide returns for our shareholders. It's a model that's not sustainable for us today. And that's a function of a number of things. We've seen the largest margin compression that we've seen in banking history over the last 18 months. That channel is the most expensive channel for us to distribute to customers. We want to align that channel to service our customers the way they wish to be served. So we will have a presence in Western Australia. We are going to have a presence in South Australia. We acknowledge that this is a very difficult decision for owner managers. The majority of our owner managers will end up working for BOQ, and the vast majority of their people will end up working for BOQ. We think it's a better model to sustain the future of BOQ going forward. At the same time, we're going to work very closely with those impacted to ensure a smooth transition, both for the people involved, but also our customers.
I thank you for the answer there, Patrick, because, I just want to share personally with you guys and with the rest of the room, I have fielded thousands and thousands of phone calls and messages since this was announced, and you know that for a fact. And so I'll hold you to those words, as you well know, having a lot to do with the Royal Commission. For those in the room, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Craig Caulfield had a lot to do with the Banking Royal Commission too, and has since had a thing about model litigant, banks adopt model litigant principles for disputes with customers. So I thank you how you've answered that. I just want to really reiterate here that it is so important, because there are so many good owner-managers who have served BOQ and have brought, customers come to them. It's, I have a customer in Western Australia who's in the Defence Force, and I BOQ looked after them, no issue. Especially the owner-manager. Especially the owner-manager.
We'll continue to look after him, Peter.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Peter.